Hello and welcome to the USMEDs video training on how to create an outbound transaction or pedigree. It's very simple. Once we've already, at this point, you have already entered your inbound pedigree into the system and you have accepted it, which is a valuable and necessary step in order for the pedigree data to be available for the outbound transaction to happen. So in order to create an outbound transaction or outbound pedigree for your clients, simply click on order, create an order, and you will enter the information on your invoice number to your client, their purchase order if they provide it to you. If they don't, you can leave this field blank, the date of transaction, the name of your customer, now if your customer profile contains an email address, the USMEDs system will fire off an email with the pedigree data included to that email account. Now if you're entering the information into the system, and let's use this as if you noticed, when I'm entering the information, I'm not getting any drop-down fields. Like in the other case, once I start entering, the system provides me with some available names that we have in our public database. If we simply don't have that information here of your particular doctor or client, just click their name and click on View, and then the fields necessary to complete the order will be made available to you. Once you've entered this information and create order, this information will be stored into the system. Now, it's important to display to identify what type of customer this is. If they're a physician. If they're anything else, just make sure that you accurately identify who they are in the system. A repackager, a pharmacy, a wholesaler, or any of the other persons that are under our fields. The name of is the same thing that you have up here. You put the address, and once you've entered all this data, it will be saved and you will not have to generate it again. For the purposes of this demo, let's just pick Dr. Phil. And we say we've got the information on the invoice number and the date, who we're selling it to, and then we click Create Order. When we click on Create Order, we're provided with what in the world of e-commerce would be considered a shopping cart. This shopping cart is another way of creating a mechanism by where you could put multiple line items for your customer or their pedigrees into one particular document. So now you have your order details, you have the invoice number, who your customer is, the date of the transaction, and it tells you that there's no pedigrees in this order. We go to your inventory screen and we find the items that we are going to sell on this order. Once we've completed our selection, we click on Add to Order. The page will refresh back to the order screen, and it'll give us the items that are part of this order. In some cases, you may have an order that could be partially filled, waiting for some other item to be received before you can complete the order. You can simply continue your work and not have to worry about that order. Now let's say you brought in your missing item for this order, and you brought in the pedigree, you did all the steps you had to do with checking it off, and then it's now available on your inventory. So what do? You simply click on your orders, and if you notice, this order has the icon of an open box. This is an open order. We simply click on the file name, Now the order is displayed, and we could add the items that are missing. So we click back on our inventory, we select the open order, which in this case would be, it's important for you to know that this will simply be an extension of your invoice number that you entered in the system. So now we select the item that's missing, and we click add to order. Now once all the items are in this particular order, we just mark the order closed. And now, if this customer had an email associated to his profile, the USMED system would have fired off an email, and the history would have told you right down here, email sent, and will display the address, the email address that it was sent and the time and date. Now, there's a few things that you could do now. If we click on manifest, your system will display an order manifest that is a printable document that you could put in your box, and your customers could go to the USMED systems and enter this reference ID and pull that pedigree document from the system. Or they could click on this URL or type this URL into their web browser, and it will direct them to the USMED site and will display the information accurately. And that concludes how you do an outbound transaction for your customers.